Day after United Nations General Assembly voted overwhelmingly on the resolution seeking a ceasefire on Israel-Hamas hostilities, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has warned that the ongoing war on Hamas is going to be decisive. Israel has further said that it doesn't care about international support and that the war will see a total annihilation of Hamas. Meanwhile, the overnight rain and thunderstorm has further aggravated the dire condition of Palestinians fleeing the war and sheltering in makeshift tents. Good evening, I'm Amar Singh Pradhan and these are the headlines of the hour. Patan High Court directs the release of former Home Minister Balkrishna Khad on bail. Suspended lawmaker Lakshmi Koiri gets a clean sheet on murder charge. Prime Minister Dahal miffed with the performance of ministers and secretaries, alleged of lackluster performance of ministries. Israel cancels a planned trip to Qatar by its head of its foreign intelligence service to restart talks on a possible second hostage release deal. And defending champions Dangadi FC climbs to the top of Nepal Super League with a narrow 1-0 win over Chitwan. The Patan High Court today directed the release of former Home Minister Balkrishna Khad, who was in judicial custody in the fake Bhutanese refugee scandal. The case was heard by the single bench of Justice Krishna Ram Koirala today. Earlier, the opinions of the two justices had clashed in the case, which led to the final hearing by a third bench. During the verdict announced on December 1st, earlier this month, Justice Janak Pandey had opined that Khad should be released on a bail amount of 3 million rupees, while Justice Prakash Kharel had said that Khad cannot be released in the present scenario where evidences were staked against him. Justice Koirala today sided with the verdict of Justice Janak Pandey, announcing the release of Khad on a bail amount of 3 million rupees. The Kathmandu District Court on 16th of June earlier this year had sent the 20 alleged individuals in the fake Bhutanese refugee case to judicial custody for further investigation. All the 20 alleged culprits had moved the Patan High Court seeking to revoke the District Court verdict. The joint bench of Justice Duo Prakash Kharel and Janak Pandey had upheld the Kathmandu District Court verdict to keep former Deputy Prime Minister Rayamaji, Secretary Teknarayan Pandey, Indrajit Rai, the Secretary Advisor of former Deputy Prime Minister Rambahadur Thapa, Prime Accused Kesab Dulal, Sagar Rai and Sanu Bandari in detention. The Mahottari District Court has given clean sheet to suspended lawmaker of CPN-UML Lakshmi Mahato Koiri of allegations of involvement in the killing of Armed Police Force Constable Thaman Bika. The court has, however, slapped life imprisonment on 7 others in the same case, including Provincial Assembly member from Loktantrik Samajwadi Party Abhiram Sharma. The sentences were handed by Judge Uddhav Prasad Bhattarai. The others handed with life sentences are Pradeep Shah, Sanjay Kumar Shah, Mohan Thakur, Rama Shankar Mishra, Surendra Pandey and Dharmendra Rai. The case was filed at the District Court on 10th of March 2016 against 28 individuals for cold-blooded murder and 25 others for setting ablaze properties. Pradeep Shah, Sanjay Kumar Shah and Pawan Kapar are still in police custody, while Lakshmi Mahato Koiri and Mohan Thakur have been They were alleged of dragging seriously injured police personnel Thaman Bika from an ambulance while he was being taken to the hospital and killing him. The incident took place on 11th of September 2015. His wife Sobha had filed a complaint following the incident, based on which the government had filed the case. Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal has expressed dissatisfaction over the work execution of ministers and secretaries. The Prime Minister termed the first quarterly of the new fiscal year as disappointing, as it directed the ministers to carry out works by adhering to a deadline. Addressing a joint meeting of the ministers and secretaries, Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal urged the top office bearers to stick to a deadline while implementing government decisions. Majority of the ministers' progress report did not cross the 60% success index. This report has largely disappointed the Premier, as he directed the ministers and the secretaries to improve their work operation. The report presented to the Prime Minister shows the performance of 9 ministries above the 60% index, while the performance status of 7 ministries stands at between 40 to 60% and the remaining ministries have it below 40%. The participating ministers, meanwhile, raised the issue of budget crunch, holding Finance Minister Prakash Saran Mahat as responsible. However, Minister Mahat was not present at the meeting today. Likewise, Deputy Prime Minister and Home Minister Narayan Kaji Shrestha, alongside another Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Defence Purna Bahadur Khadga, too abstained the meeting. The government has promoted Joint Secretary Sewa Lamsal to Secretary at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The decision was taken by the Council of Ministers meeting held today. Lamsal will be the first woman to hold the position in Foreign Affairs Ministry once she assumes office. She had begun her career from the Passport Department and has the experience of leading embassies in various countries. Meanwhile, the cabinet has also decided to promote Major General Ashok Raj Sigdal to the post of Lieutenant General. He is in the role ordered to become the Chief of Army Staff. The Nepal Rashtra Bank has said inflation has come under control as it released its current economic and financial status report today. The country's central bank has said inflation was limited to 5.38% in the Nepali month of Kartik, which falls between mid-October to mid-November. Between September to October, inflation had reached up to 7.5% and 8.8% in the following months. However, from mid-October to mid-November this year, the prices for ghee and oil products went down by up to 14.23%, while the rates for vegetables also decreased by 5.35%. The level of inflation is at par with the inflation in neighboring nation India, which has 5.5%. Based on the central bank report, remittances has increased by 26.4% to reach 477 billion and 960 million rupees. This has led to a surplus of the country's balance of payment at 147 billion 110 million rupees. Remittance had gone up by around 20.4% during the same period last year, which was at a surplus of 20 billion 30 million rupees. Likewise, between mid-October to mid-November, foreign currency reserves has reached 1 trillion 696 billion and 780 million rupees. It's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where it texts us with their opinion.
Public Pulse.
And before we give you today's question, let's take a look at a response to yesterday's question. And yesterday we had asked you, what's your take on the delay in distribution of national identity cards? 81% voted for option A, poor management, 17% voted for option B, lack of technical knowledge, and 2% voted for option C, too many service seekers. And here's today's question. And the question is, what's your take on the report by the central bank that says the inflation is under control? Your options are option A, indication of improved economy, option B, superficial report, and option C, challenge to keep stable. The voting is on. Tap any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share opinion with us. And time for short break. We'll be right back. The Supreme Court today rejected the writ regarding the dispute on merger and FPO taxes. The court verdict means that commercial banks are now required to pay merger and FPO taxes. The Constitutional Bench, including Chief Justice Biswambar Prasad Shrestha, Justices Anand Mohan Bhattrai, Sapna Pradhan Malla, Susma Lata Mathema and Kumar Regmi, gave the verdict against the commercial banks. The banks are now required to furnish merger and FPO taxes as per Financial Act 2080. The failure to do so will be liable for extra fines. The government had earlier decided to levy these taxes on banks on the ground of the report presented by the Office of Auditor General. CPN-UML Chair KP Sharma Oli was attacked by a civilian as he reached Dhankuta's Legua earlier this afternoon. The former Prime Minister had reached Legua as part of his mid-hill resolution tour of Dhankuta and Bhojpur. The attacker, identified as Mahesh Rai, was in line with those waiting to welcome Chair Oli. Rai is in police custody following the incident. According to local police, Rai was found to be under the influence of alcohol. Individuals enlisted in the closed list of the proportionate category for the National Assembly election slated for 25th of February next year, have begun withdrawing their names, one after another, abiding by the election laws that bar those in the list from contesting in the next elections. So far, 277 from different political parties have withdrawn their names from the list. Likewise, 150 more have applied to withdraw their names. Those who have withdrawn their names include Nepali Congress leaders Gopal Man Shrestha, Ananda Prasad Dungana, Surkrishna Baidya, Maoist Centre's Champa Karki, Rashtriya Prajantantra Party's Uddhav Paudel, among others. The Election Commission has begun registration of parties since 10th of December for the National Assembly election. 9 parties have so far registered themselves and the others have till tomorrow to register. The value of Nepali rupee against US dollar has further weakened. The Nepal Rashtra Bank has determined the exchange rate of Nepali rupee at 133.75 against $1 US. Buying rate today stood at 133.15 rupees. As the national currency loses value, economists have warned of potential losses and suggested raising exports. Losing currency value causes detrimental impacts on countries like Nepal, with annual trade deficit of over 1,500 billion rupees. However, economists also maintain that the scenario can help improve remittances and tourism sector. And in our public voice segment, we have asked in several provinces what should be done to raise the effectiveness of the government works. Let's take a look at what they have to say.
विभिन्न खालका विज्ञहरूसँग बसेर हाम्रो विद्यमान समस्याहरूलाई तत्काल समाधान गर्ने उपाय के हुन् भनेर उहाँले बुझ्न खोज्नु भने समस्या समाधान हुन सक्छ।
तल्लो स्तरमा बस्ने अब उहरू छ, नागरिकहरू छ, उहाँहरूलाई चाहिँ सहज रूपमा सबै कुराहरू स्वास्थ्य शिक्षामा चाहिँ अलिकति राम्रो जोड, जस्तै महँगी हैन बढिरहेको छ, त्यसको निगरानी केही पनि छैन।
जनता आफ्नो ठाउँमा पनि इमानदार भएर जनप्रतिनिधिहरूलाई सहयोग गर्ने गर्यो भने
इमानदारीपूर्वक जनता र देशको लागि काम हुनु पर्यो।
भ्रष्टाचारमा जीरो टोलरेन्स अपनाउनु पर्छ अनि मात्र यो सरकारको काम कर्तव्य राम्ररी प्रभावकारी हुन्छ।
कर्मचारीले काममा ढिलाइ गर्नु भएन।
सरकार इमानदार भएर चाहिँ पारदर्शी रूपले काम गर्नुपर्छ।
कामहरू योजनाहरू छुटेको छ, त्यो कामहरूलाई राम्रोसँग गर्न थाल्यो भने त्यतिकै पनि काम हुन्छ।
बेरोजगारीलाई अन्त्य गरी रोजगारीको सृजना गर्नु पर्यो।
सबैभन्दा पहिला कृषिमा अलिकति बढी ध्यान दिनु पर्यो राज्यले।
काम गर्ने एउटा वातावरण बनायो भनेपछि अब त्यसमा चाहिँ राम्रो चाहिँ प्रभाव होला भन्ने।
टाढाका मान्छे हैन गाडी मोटर मिल्दैन, यी हिटेर जानु पर्छ, दूरका मान्छे असहज बिमार हुन्छ, छिटा भन्दा छिटो बनाइदिए बुझ्दिने मान्छे भइदिए धेरै राम्रो हुने थियो।
परिचय पत्र होला, कोही कहीँ न कहीँ त्यो राजस्व तिर्नु होला जग्गाको भनौँ हैन, त्यो फटाफट गर्दाखेरि राम्रो हुन्छ।
सरकारले कर्मचारीहरूलाई थप सुविधा दिएर काममा लगाउनु पर्छ।
जति पनि सरकारकी औदामा बसेकोहरूले नीति निर्माणहरू गर्नुहुन्छ, त्यो नीति निर्माणहरूलाई चाहिँ कार्यान्वयनमा ल्याउनु पर्यो।
तलदेखि माथिसम्म चुस्त दुरुस्त रूपले इमानदारी साथ काम गर्नुपर्छ। सबैले
भएका नियमहरूलाई कडाका साथ कार्यान्वयन गर्नुपर्छ। जनतामुखी बजेट ल्याउनु पर्छ।
सबैभन्दा पहिले त भ्रष्टाचारको अन्त्य हुनुपर्छ।
And now time for international update. Israel has cancelled a planned trip to Qatar by the head of its foreign intelligence service to restart talks on a possible second hostage release deal. It has been understood that Massoud director David Barnea will not travel to the Qatari capital Doha, where previous talks on the release of hostages held by Hamas militants in Gaza have taken place. Israel Channel 13 first reported Wednesday that the Israeli war cabinet, led by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, had called off the trip and that senior Israeli officials would not go to Qatar to restart negotiations. Around 240 people, from infants to octogenarians, were taken hostage during Hamas's attack on Israel on 7th of October. Dozens have been freed, but many more remain missing, presumed to be held by the Palestinian militant organization and other groups in Gaza following the breakdown of a temporary truce last month. The Israeli Prime Minister's office believes 135 hostages remain in Gaza, 115 of whom are alive. Qatar has delayed to Hamas new ideas to try to get more hostages out of Gaza, including a potential deal that would include the release of not just the remaining women hostages, but men as well, according to one source familiar with the efforts and a senior U.S. official. And time for another short break. We'll be right back. And now time for sports update.
Sports news.
Dhangarhi FC have climbed to the top of Nepal Super League as they defeated Chitwan FC 1-0 in today's match. In the match at the capital Dasar Stadium, Dhangarhi took the lead in the second minute of the match itself. Afiz Olawale stunned the Chitwan custodian Bisal Shrestha with a powerful strike to give 1-0 lead to Dhangarhi. This was the fastest goal scored in the ongoing NSL season. Chitwan had a golden opportunity to equalize just before the breather when they were awarded a penalty. However, the spot kick taken by Bimal Gardimagar was blocked by Dhangarhi custodian Tikendra Thapa. Dhangarhi held on to their one-goal lead till the 90 minutes to win the match 1-0. Dhangarhi now have 11 points from 5 matches, while the second place Lalitpur have 9 points. Chitwan only have 5 points from 6 matches, casting more doubts on their playoff qualification. Birganj United take on Jhapa FC in tomorrow's match of the NSL. Armed Police Force have won the 3-match T20 Series against Bagmati Province women team. APF won the second match played today by 62 runs to clinch the series, with one more match still remaining. Rajmati Airi struck a half-century in APF's victory. Bagmati had elected to field in Mulpani's lower ground as APF posted 143 runs for the loss of 3 wickets. Openers Rajamati and Mamata Chowdhury added 102 runs for the opening wicket partnership. Mamata was the first to depart for 46 runs in the 16th over, while Rajamati scored 70 runs. In reply, Bagmati were restricted to 81 runs for the loss of 7 wickets, with the top score of 21 runs by Salina Silwal. Rekha Rawal and Nisa Bhatta claimed 2 wickets each for APF. Australia looked in complete control of the first test against Pakistan at the end of the first day at Perth. Australia elected to bat first at Perth as they finished the day one on 346 runs for the loss of 5 wickets. David Warner and Usman Khwaja put on 126 runs for the opening wicket partnership. Khwaja donned a black armband while batting today as a protest against the Israel war on Gaza. ICC earlier had not allowed Khwaja to wear shoes which had anti-war slogan written against Israel. Sahinsa Afridi broke the partnership with the wicket of Khwaja for 41 runs. David Warner, who has announced of taking retirement after this series, went on to compile his 26th century as he scored 164 runs. The other contributor with the bat was Travis Head with 42 runs. Australia are hosting Pakistan for a 3-match test series. Rebecca Welch will become the first female referee for a Premier League fixture when she officiates Fulham's match against Burnley on 23rd of December. The 40-year-old began refereeing in 2010 and in January became the first woman to referee a men's championship game. Welch has also refereed in the championship this year, as well as taking charge of Women's Super League and Women's Champions League matches and refereeing at the Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand in the summer. Welch made history in November when she became the first woman to be involved in the Premier League in a refereeing capacity, taking up the role of 4th official when Manchester United defeated Fulham 1-0 at Craven Cottage. Sam Allison will also take charge of a top-flight match in December, making him the Premier League's first black referee for 15 years. He will oversee Sheffield United's match against Fulham on 26th of December. Uriah Rainey, the league's last black referee, retired from officiating in English football's top 4 divisions in 2009. The EFL's last non-white referee, Jarnail Singh, retired in 2010. In July, the Football Association laid out plans to recruit 50% more referees from historically underrepresented backgrounds by 2026, targeting an increase of 1,000 women referees and 1,000 black or Asian referees at all levels of football in 3 years. Currently, 8% officials are of black or Asian ethnicity, but only 3% in professional football. No black or Asian referee has taken charge of a Premier League game since Raini's final match in 2008. And those were our latest headlines. Up next is News in Nepali. Good night.